At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
This is your home for the Cardinals. Eudora Sports Live.
Van Dong in motion. The give is to Moody. Moody ducks down and dives in. He's standing over the ball. He's going to take it quickly. Looking across the field, and he's got it! It's Jude Whalen. And now Addy Hephill puts it away for the Cards. They'll take a 2-set lead. Hendrickson in motion, give to Duncan. Duncan, and he trucks the safety. Is he in?
It's time for the Cardinals on your home for Eudora High School Athletics. Eudora Sports Live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in here to our pregame show brought to us by Fort Scott Community College. Not a lot left until kickoff, only about 5.5 minutes. It is going to be myself, Reed McAvoy, Hayden Harves alongside me here for what we have deemed the Battle of 212. And we took exit 212, but went the Tonganoxie direction instead of the Eudora direction this time, as this is a football rivalry that started back in 1930. It was the first time these teams played on the gridiron, and it has been a great rivalry ever since. They battle within the Frontier League. They are two of the best teams within the Frontier League this year. The Cards sit atop the Frontier League at 4-0. The Chieftains hot on their tail at 3-1. There's also Spring Hill in there at 4-1, worth a mention, but this is a great matchup. The Cardinals come in on their longest win streak since 2015. They've won 5 straight games, and this is going to be a tough matchup here against the Chieftains on the road, in the rain no less. But I think that actually benefits the Cardinals a lot. They love to run on the ground, and so I think the rain will play right into their hands. We've got about 5 minutes before our opening kick, which will be brought to us by Wolf Diagnostic and Automotive. We're going to go ahead and go to one more break before kickoff.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
All right, welcome back here on the Fort Scott Community College pregame show. A couple more minutes before kickoff, as you can see the players going through the coin toss. It is a rainy day. The kickoff was moved up an hour because of the impending weather, and we're getting a little bit of that right now. Hopefully we can complete this entire game here today. That is the mission here of moving it up by an hour. So hopefully that didn't mess with you guys' schedule too much, getting to tune in here for this great game. Hayden, have you looked through this matchup, and what are some things you want to mention before we get going here?
Just a little bit. I mean, first and foremost, I think coming into a rainy environment does look really, really good for the Cards in terms of what we know they like to do, wanting to run the ball on the ground, play good defense, and control the clock. This is going to fare pretty well for them. They have scored in this 5-game run where they've won all 5 of their games. They've averaged 33 points per game that they've scored, and that's been almost entirely on the ground. They've allowed under 30, actually quite a ways under it on average. So this is certainly a team that's really, really strong, knows how to control the pace their opponent wants to run. But this is absolutely going to be a fun one as it's set to rain here. As you mentioned, the Battle of 212. It's actually the Battle of 224 for me, but Eudora not on the exit sign coming the other way.
Well, then it's not the Battle of 224. It's about both names being on the sign.
This is correct.
So off of the coin toss, the Chieftains will receive. So they will begin with the ball. They will be going left to right across your screen. About to get going here between these two great Frontier League teams. I got to talk with Coach Stefan about this matchup, about this rivalry. We told him the nickname that we've deemed it, the Battle of 212. They first played in 1930. I asked him, what does this rivalry mean? And he said, I think it's one of those games we can build into a rivalry. With us not playing Baldwin anymore and them losing Baser, it'll be fun for a trophy and make this a big deal. As for this year, our kids are focused. We know how good of a team they are and how well coached they are. They are the team to beat on this side of the state based on the last few years, and that is absolutely true. The last 2 years, the Chieftains have gotten the better of the Cardinals. This does look like a different Chieftains team, but one that's still very capable. It is interesting, the one loss on this Chieftains record, or they have 2 now, but the one within the Frontier League was a 35-0 drubbing, which they took from Spring Hill, the same team that the Cardinals have beaten this year. And I asked Coach about that as well. I said, do you think that was indicative of this Tonganoxie team? Is that a score that we can expect tonight, or is that something that was an anomaly? And he said they had some guys out that week. It was their QB's second start. That team looks much different than how well they are playing now. So he's saying, I don't think we're going to beat them 35-0. And that's no indictment on his team. That's just respect for Tonganoxie, saying that they have figured a lot of things out since that game. So this is going to be a good matchup that he is anticipating as Grayson Moody is ready, or rather Caden Dunback is ready to get us underway here in our opening kickoff from Wolf Diagnostic and Automotive. It is brought in by Lindsay. Lindsay to the 30, a flag comes in from behind, and he goes down around the 28-yard line. We'll see what the flag is. So we are underway here from Tonganoxie.
And I think something else important to highlight right as we come into this opening drive is that the Cardinals have not necessarily been a team that has been the most stout on opening drives of the game. We have seen them allow touchdowns on the opening drives. We've also seen them very easily shake that off and get right back into the way they like to play ball. But this is going to be big, I think. If you're able to get a stop here early on, force a 3-and-out, even just prevent a lot of time from coming off the clock, and you're able to respond with a good drive on offense, you can set a really strong tone for a game that Coach Stefan and this coaching staff clearly thinks is going to be a competitive one.
They call holding on Hunter Nyhart. Nice that we can hear the white hat tonight. That'll be good. So that will back up the Chieftains on their opening drive, stick them about 4 yards into the dread zone at the 16.
Just gives all more opportunities for this pass rush for the Cardinals to really pin their ears back and go. I also noticed number 1, Cy Thomas on the close side of cornerback.
The sophomore Cy Thomas out there at the corner near side. Quarterback's going to keep this one and run it up the middle. And he will be brought down after a gain of a few.
Defense getting up, amped up quick after that one.
Maslak is the starting quarterback. He's only a sophomore. This year has 250 yards on the ground to go with 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, this team, and we don't know, of course, you and I haven't called all their games this year. We don't know a ton about what the Chieftains like to do. They could also be a team that is extremely strong at running and moving the ball on the ground.
Here is the second down play. This is a give to the back. He's going to the right side, still on his feet, breaking outside of the Cardinals linebackers crew into the secondary where he is brought down, but not before he gets a first. That's Blake Rydell.
I think that's the other thing about a little bit of rain playing into the mix is a little bit harder. Those pads become a little bit tougher to grab. Everything becomes a little bit more slippery, a little tougher to get a grip on out there.
The junior running back closing in on 400 rushing yards this year. Here is a 1st and 10 play. This is Maslak. He's going to keep it. Rush to the right side and get absolutely crushed by Marks.
Yeah, and that's something we know this Cards defense is a really big fan of doing. If they're able to get through that line of scrimmage and if they're able to just stifle plays for not huge gains, right? Even run plays for 2, 3, 4 yards is something that they're willing to take because they know that as the game goes on, if they're able to do well on offense and drive up a little bit of a gap, when the defense gets a little bit of wiggle room, those 4-yard rushes all of a sudden won't do the trick a little bit later on.
Second down here. Still most of it to go after the great tackle from Marks. Maslak hands that one off to Rydell. Rydell still fighting for more. He's got the first. He's into Cardinals territory. That's twice now that we've seen Rydell refuse to go down, just stays on his feet, keeps pumping. He was eventually brought down by Keelan Duncan and Colton Bowser, but not before he put the Chieftains into Cardinals territory.
I was just about to say regarding Keelan Duncan, he reminds me of a certain one Keelan Duncan or Grayson Moody, really. Both of these Cards running backs, you see them so often. Contact is made, at a certain line marker. They'll go 5, 8 more yards before they even hit the ground. And certainly the kind of day where that'd be a really big upside for this Chieftains offense if they're able to keep that moving.
They set up with 3 wide, 2 on the right, 1 on the left. Maslak in shotgun, Rydell to his left. Maslak will run to his left, gets through the offensive line, the defensive line, and goes down after maybe 6 or 7. Bowser in on the tackle. We've seen a lot of them running with their quarterback, Bodie Maslak.
I mean, you and I know, as someone who watches a lot of Cards games, from watching Cy Thomas earlier in the year too, what kind of, even Houston Carnegie at times, what kind of freedom that affords an offense from a play calling standpoint when you're able to have a quarterback who can threaten the run on the ground really opens up both the pass and the run game.
Already more than 3 minutes on this opening drive. Man in motion. Maslak will give. This is Rydell, the running back. And he's got another first down. He's touched it 3 times and converted all 3 times.
Certainly give the Chieftains an option they can lean on. Put a little bit of pressure on this Cards defense early too. Although they've bounced back from it this year, giving up a touchdown on opening drive is certainly not on the to-do list for them. But still quite a bit of ground left to gain here for the Chieftains, and you'd imagine that with the rain and some slight winds that a kick largely out of the equation here unless they are right up against the goal line.
So another first down here for the Chieftains, a very productive opening drive. This will be a give to Riedel. Riedel spins past the first man. Takes 3 Cardinals to get him down in the end.
Really is impressive to me, even when, we're watching Cards defenders who, we're used to seeing throw somebody down when they get their fingers on the jersey, and it's taken 2 or 3 of them to consistently slow down the rushing attack of the Chieftains here early.
First time we've seen Riedel get a blow. The running back steps off here for this one. And they are going to go, well, I was going to say an empty backfield. Looks like they do have a receiver offset, and he's going to go in motion. He might get the ball here. He will. The flag comes in, and actually it was a keeper for Maslak. Fooled me. filled the Cardinals defense as well. Duncan ends up chasing him down when he's inside the 10, but we have to see what the flag is back at the line of scrimmage.
It's the kind of flag that's going to be really big early on. See which direction it goes. If this is against the Chieftains, it's going to feel like a massive blow to what's been a really productive opening drive.
It's empty, but the back's just out wide.
It is a false start.
They set up in an interesting formation there. It was Kipton Harder, a receiver, that ended up getting the ball for what would have been his first carry on the year. Or no, he didn't get the ball. He was a play action to him. But they say illegal formation there, so that play negated. And instead of a first down and inside the red zone, it becomes 2nd and 12.
It's a big opportunity here for the Cards defense, Reed. This is one of the best shots they've had today. They try to get off the field. Toggy looking to threaten the pass again.
Empty backfield. Maslak runs to the strong side, gets past the first tackler, and Marks will wrap him up and bring him down. It'll be 3rd and pretty long here for the Chieftains.
Really impressed with where Braden Marks has been on this first drive. He's been all over the place. We've seen him almost solely credited with at least 2 tackles. He's been involved in many more. This is a big opportunity, man. I don't think the Cards would love much else more early on than to get off the field here, especially if they're able to do something kind of explosive defensively, a sack or a fumble forced to get some momentum rolling here early. It'd be massive.
Here's the 3rd and about 10 here. Again in motion, the receiver. Maslak keeps again. And Duncan is to him, and they will end up bringing him down. Duncan with help from quite a few other Cardinals teammates. And that will bring up 4th down here, and it's a decision for the Chieftains.
Can't see exactly how far the distance is, but it's not a ton. Could be within feasible go-for-it territory here early, but well, now looks like the quarterback, Maslak, maybe staying out there to take a play call. We'll see the decision here. I imagine quite a bit of contemplation before they go out on the field for this one.
They are setting up to go for it.
Need to get
Riedel is the lone running back. In motion, it is a give to Riedel. Mr. First Down thus far on this drive, and he will not get it.
Not that time.
The Cardinals force a turnover on downs. They get to Riedel for the first time, and they will take over around the 25-yard line here for their first drive of the game.
Gotta love the momentum stop and play on that opening possession, and I believe the prior 2 weeks, if I recall correctly, the Cards did give up a touchdown on the opening drive, and starting off on a much stronger foot this time around against a really strong opponent nonetheless.
It was a 60-yard, 6-minute drive there for the Chieftains, but it ended up stalling out. And now the Cardinals take over for the first time. Carnegie under center. Duncan in motion. It'll be a toss to Moody. Moody tries to get past the Chieftains, but man, they got to the backfield quickly. The first play for the Cards today does not go very far.
It's going to be really big early on, I think, there for the Chieftains, maybe bigger than we realized. In a game like this, you know, the rain has stopped a bit, but when it's tough to run the ball and it's even tougher to throw the ball, the last thing you want to do is go backwards on offense or not get a gain. Because if you get your back backed up a little bit and feel the need to throw the ball, you're putting the defense exactly where they want you come along 3rd down.
Preston White, the near receiver, had more than 60 yards last game on 2 fantastic catches. Duncan is the main back, and he will get the give. Duncan, Keelan Duncan finding room, gets past the secondary, still going, and he's brought down in Chieftains territory. A big run by Keelan Duncan on his first touch of the day.
And I love the predictability at this point almost of Keelan Duncan getting big runs. It should not be that consistent for somebody to just step in and break off explosive gains as often as he does, but nonetheless, he's been absolutely phenomenal at it. And I think a huge part of that is just how dynamic Grayson Moody is on the ground. And then you also have the threat of Houston Carnegie being able to throw it well or move the ball with his legs. Just opens up the threat so much on this offense. Defenses simply can't put enough bodies around to cover it all.
Yeah, Moody's first carry didn't go very far. Duncan's first carry did. See what happens here on this after the first down conversion. Carry up the middle will go for 4. 2-4 and 4-4.
You got to think that's something the Cards were okay with early on, too. I mean, they know that you know, controlling the clock and running the ball, getting first downs is their name of the game for them. If you're getting 4 yards a carry, you're going to be in a perfect position to just continue to get first downs and just wear out the opposing defense. So that 4-yard carry, something the Cards will take with a smile every single time.
They call it staying ahead of the chains. If you average more than 3.3 per play, then you are staying ahead of the chains and you're on target to get the first down. Here's another give to Moody. Moody fighting hard, takes a hit to the lower midsection and is brought down a yard short. It'll be third down.
He might have been right around that 3.3 mark.
Brought down by Blake Riedel and Brady Martin.
Fair bit more than that, but I will ask you, if this one does come up short, what do you think the Cards opt to do? You're in that
as long
position
as it's
where
still this close to the markers, go for it.
I agree.
If you get backed up at all, punt it and trust your defense to make a great play. Try and punt it out of bounds, pin them deep. Here is the third and 1 play. It'll be another give to Moody, whose first step is backwards, so he will lose a bit here, and it'll be fourth and a little bit longer. He was trying to break to the outside, but he got sucked in by the defense.
I believe it's going to be roughly 2 or 3 yards to gain. So I would think this is certainly go for it territory, and it looks like Carnegie getting the play call in.
Might actually open things up just a little bit more when you're not fighting for all of 1 yard. Sometimes that can let the defense really box in. This is a big moment here, though. A turnover on downs is how the Cardinals got the ball. Is it how they'll lose it? In motion, Mulvihill. It's a toss. Moody cuts back up the middle. This is really close.
That's a bad spot.
Looks like they're spotting him short.
I don't know if I love that spot initially.
It's not too far off, though. It was definitely close, and I still think he may have been short. He may have been closer than where they spotted him.
Right.
But it will be a turnover on downs for both teams to begin this game.
For somebody calling the Cards games, of course, you never want to see a turnover there, but as a football fan, this is setting up to be really, really fun. You see both teams have fairly promising opening drives early on, and both end up stifling out with strong defense.
So the Chieftains went 60 yards on their opening drive, which was ultimately unsuccessful. The Cardinals responded with a 40-yard drive of their own. But we are still at 0-0 right now. Maslak looks to throw for the first time. He has a man. He's got him. Bringing it in is number 8 here. He's going to be brought down by Bowser at the 20. That is Jacob Morenz, the senior receiver. He's closing in. In fact, probably just surpassed 500 receiving yards on the year.
And what a way to put the Cards on the back foot if you're the Chieftains. That's just a really, really tough spot to put them in. And for the Chieftains, you've got to think everyone was kind of just assuming you wouldn't see the ball get thrown a whole lot, and they opt to go out and do just that, and the bravery pays itself off with a huge gain on the opening play nonetheless.
That is a 60-yard pass there, maybe 55 yards. All of a sudden, the Chieftains right at the edge of the red zone. Here's Maslak, fakes to Riedel. Maslak keeps it to the right side. And Marks has him wrapped up and will bring him down.
Still just consistent yards there, though. This might be the point where the Cards defense really looking for some kind of explosive play. This is one of those places where you would love to see a sack or even an interception especially be massive right now, because right now the Chieftains feel like they've got a ton of momentum on their side here rolling as they're knocking on the door of trying to open up the scoring.
Your screen is showing 4th and 2, but that is not the situation here. It is 2nd and about 6 here.
Yeah. If he gets that guy scooped, it's first.
Maslak hands it off to Riedel. Riedel fights through the first set of tacklers, is eventually brought down by Brock Long.
Blake Riedel with the carry. Brings up 3rd and short.
Man, the atmosphere here feels like a heavyweight Frontier League matchup. I mean, this feels like two schools that walk in here knowing they're in for a tough battle and walk in knowing they've got to beat one another.
3 wide here. Riedel is the back. Maslak hands it off to Riedel. Riedel goes up the gut, trying to fight for the first down. He will get it. That puts the Chieftains in an and goal situation.
Yep, and the tough part about it for the Cardinals defense is that if they've been able to run the ball well and they've been able to pass the ball well, it puts you in a tough spot in terms of finding a way to put pressure on them a little bit Because so far from the way this drive's gone, you got to think the Chieftains are kind of looking at the whole playbook going, well, we can
that
do whatever we
was
want
the
here.
only one we've seen, the only passing attempt, and it went for more than 50 yards, but
At
we
the
have
same
not
time,
even
that's
seen
harder.
anything else.
That's also harder to do with less space.
Very true, but they do have an empty set here. Mazlak's going to keep it again and will be brought down as he went to the left side there, trying to find a seam to get towards the end zone.
Looks like very little gain, if any at all. And I will bring up, we have seen the Cardinals make very, very impressive goal line stands this season. I believe it was against Ottawa, if I recall correctly, where they had 4 attempts from right within the 2-yard line, all 4 of them. And they just continue to move Ottawa back over and over and over again. So we know they're capable of it. Certainly not the kind of pressure back against the wall situation where you want to be as a defense early on.
The Chieftains will choose to continue their 2nd and goal situation from the other side, letting the first quarter wind to a close. So we are, as we began, 0-0 as we head to the second.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
All right, back for the second quarter here. 2nd and goal for the Chieftains. We have seen both teams have the ball and both teams turn it over on downs in the other team's territory. But the Chieftains on one play switch the field. The 55-yard pass to Jacob Morenz, and that's set up here for us with this 2nd and goal. Mazlak going to keep it. We've seen him keep the ball a lot here today. They're running with him about as much as the Cardinals tend to do with Grayson Moody. Mazlak will be stopped 4 yards shy of the end zone.
The tough thing about a quarterback who runs the ball well, and we see this at all levels of the sport, you always wonder, how does the quarterback always have room to run like that? Why wouldn't you just stack the box and prevent him from running? Well, the problem is the offense knows that as soon as that box gets stacked, the passing numbers open up a ton. So defenses are kind of forced to play the hand more conservatively and defend the longer passes. But that does open you up to a lot of quarterback runs all game long.
3rd and goal here. Mazlak keeps it, no, gives. Riedel fighting for the end zone, and he is in. Blake Riedel with his 4th rushing touchdown on the season. And the Chieftains take the lead here.
Really impressive start for them. I mean, that pass early on was truly, the first real shake of the tide we've had this whole game so far, and capped itself off with a scoring drive that looked fairly easy for the Chieftains.
On to kick the extra point.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So the Chieftains lead 7-0. I'll reference something that Coach Steffen said when I asked him about this game. I asked him what aspects of this Tongi team will present the biggest challenge to you. He said they're so well coached on both sides of the ball. This is going to be a 4-quarter grind that will be determined ultimately by a few big plays. We got to be focused on special teams and execute on both sides of the ball. They're really good in their wide zone and counter game. The QB is young but runs hard and throws a good ball, and their receivers are explosive, so we have to control that too. So it just sounds like a little bit of everything is challenging about them, and he knew that coming in, and we've seen that. It has mainly been them running the ball with Mazlak, but that drive was dependent upon a 55-yard reception that set them up in the red zone, and also a turnover on downs forced by their defense. So it just shows the great team that the Cardinals find themselves matched up with here, but I think they will be very excited to get a second crack at it offensively. They made some good progress in their first drive. Maybe they've learned a bit from it and know how to attack this time around and try and get to the end zone themselves and tie this game up.
Yeah, I like the way you phrased that with Coach Steffen. He kind of made it sound like they do everything well, which against good teams is usually the case. It's just going to be a matter of, as you say, making a couple of big plays in a couple of big moments. I'd say so far that tide has swung just a little bit more towards the Chieftains, but still so early on, so much ball left to go.
Cody Lobb will kick this one deep. It will be Des Hubler on the return. Goes right to left. Hubler with a lot of speed. Des Hubler still going. And pushed out inside the 40. The Cards will begin in plus territory.
It feels like Des Hubler's been doing that all year long, man. He's been reversing field, and if you just get 1 or 2 blocks to set up early on, you've got a ton of green grass in front of you. Just felt like he was kind of due for one to go a long ways, and there could not have been a better time to do it. The Cards really would love to have an answer here early, and that's the best way to set him up by Des Hubler.
They get set up with a very nice short field after a 40-yard return by the sophomore.
I know if I'm them, I'm definitely just still preaching the point of play this like it's a 0-0 game. No huge hurry. Don't act as if it's, we're down in a big hole. I would expect a little more ground and pound and just running the rock from the Cards here early on.
The 1st and 10 play. It's a give to Moody, and he is swallowed in the backfield.
The Chieftains are approaching it well, certainly privy to the fact that this Cards team does really like to run the ball, and they're saying, okay, we're going to stack the box and stuff that and make you beat us another way.
Looks like maybe that was actually Duncan on that carry, was it?
I believe so.
We have not seen as much of Moody thus far. We've seen he's gotten a good amount of carries.
In terms of the percentage split, though, it's been pretty even.
Which is not how it normally is.
At least not till later in the game.
Here's a fake to Moody and a keep by the QB, Cy Thomas, who will be wrapped up in the backfield.
And the Cards very quickly find themselves trapped in 3rd and quite a bit here. And I think if you're Coach Steffen, you've got to be looking at it now going, maybe we try the pass. We know Cy Thomas is capable of it, who's currently on the field. We know backup Houston Carnegie capable of it. And Preston White, as you said, the lead receiver, had a massive week last week. 2 catches, over 60 yards on those 2.
3rd and 14, they call it. Thomas will look to throw. Now he lets go. He's got Duncan, and he's got it.
Duncan had to get up for that one, too.
He was wide open, though, and Thomas did really nicely to drop it in the bucket. And it is a 1st down. The Cards survive that 3rd and 14.
Yeah, that was maybe the biggest play of the game so far. I mean, those plays are, those situations are so tough, especially at the high school level, where offenses feel like they're a little bit less variety. The capability to go deep may not be quite as strong. But my goodness, Keelan Duncan might be the best big moment player I've ever seen at the high school level. He comes up huge consistently.
He's already had 2 big plays now, that reception being one of them that puts the Cards in the red zone here. Moody still on his feet to the left side and gets maybe 6 or 7.
That's got to feel like a relief for him, too. I mean, as much as he's been met right in the backfield, for a player like him, just getting 1 or 2 plays where he can get the outside and get a step has got to just feel like a weight coming off his shoulders. The kind of thing where he gets up from the huddle and chuckles a little bit and goes, all right, now we're good.
Cards trying to produce a touchdown drive here, tie this game. They trailed at the start of the game against Independence as well before getting a very comfortable victory in the end. Oh, the ball's on the ground. A flag's come in here before it was even recovered.
Oh, and the Chieftains maybe hanging their heads, so they may.
It must be a false start then.
You would think so.
It was a dead ball foul. And then he said false start, or it could be illegal formation, but it must have been false start because that's the only one that they stop everything for, because that ball came out. But it must have been a procedural error there.
And that might be.
And oddly enough, it saves the Cards.
I would say that might be one of the most we're okay with it procedural errors that the Cards will ever have.
So it creates a 2nd down and a little longer, and then the Chieftains jump. And now they stop this play. Those are normally free plays. So maybe the Cardinals reacted at the line early in response, which would then just mean they'd blow the play dead.
Sure, sure.
Yep, encroachment on the defense. So the Cardinals will get some of that back.
So although it was blown dead, you know, they love the opportunity to just throw it up for why not when the play's already going to come back. But for the Cards, you got to be just thinking, all right, we lost some yards, got them back. It's almost a wash.
Thomas gives to Moody. Notice he keep it. He does. Cy Thomas, he will score.
Quick answer.
He was back from injury last week, but only played in a small capacity. He is much more involved here today, and he is in the end zone to make it 7-6.
That's about as perfect of a response as the Cards could have wanted. I mean, you'd always love to cut out the procedural penalties, but all things considered, it's a very good response here.
And now Dunback will go out there and try to tie this game up. Dunback scored a fantastic game-winning goal in a soccer game we got to call on Tuesday. If you didn't watch it, you should.
That was a beautiful game.
It was an overtime winner, a first win over DeSoto since 2006. And his kick is good, and this game is tied at 7s. We'll go ahead and take a break here, but keep it here on Eudora Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
All right, so our game is tied. A rushing touchdown from Cy Thomas, the returning quarterback and cornerback. Great player, very athletic, very agile.
You could call him a quasi-running back, too. He does it quite a bit.
So we are tied at 7s, and now it is Moody to kick it deep. I incorrectly called his name because he wore 22 last year, which is what Dunback wears now. But instead of Dunback, it is Moody on this kick. It'll come short to the 25-yard line. And after a pickup of 7 maybe on that return, he will be brought down.
I believe that was Eder who met him right there, and there's nothing this Cards team seems to love much more than a quick stop on special teams. Those hits always get the guys riled up for the defense to come out onto the field.
Well, and that's been a point of emphasis for them, so whenever they get that right, it's going to feel good.
And I do see, looks to be Cy Thomas out on the field once again. You would expect if he's a starter, he'll be starting all the time, but seeing that right after a long scoring drive does more so lock in the fact that Cy Thomas does seem to be the starting cornerback 2 today.
An eye set here for the Chieftains for the first time, and it's a give to the running back. Fighting for everything he can get. The Cardinals wrestling him down, still up, and they will call forward progress.
Looks to be a gain of a little less than 5.
It has been the Maslak and Riedel show. That's their quarterback 9 and their running back 6, with a hint of Jacob Morenz getting in on there.
Maslak's been so dangerous with his legs on the ground. Anytime he's carrying the ball, you know it's a threat for those linebackers to keep an eye on.
Motion man is Harder. And it'll be a throw here for Harder.
I think they're running with.
Caught it in the backfield, picks up maybe 4.
I think we just go for top 2 because they don't have anybody in the middle.
And that was Newt Schreiner to meet him right there quick.
We ran closer because now
And that's going to bring up, according to the scoreboard, 4th down and 32 to go.
Yeah, I think I might just drop that, the to-go distance. We'll just keep the downage on there.
Yep, because it's been off enough times. We don't want to throw anyone off too badly.
Eudora does a better job with it. They just do. The Eudora scoreboard's better than the Tongi one.
And we've already faced a little bit of that today. I went to borrow a chair earlier, and they looked at my shirt and said, "Oh, nothing for Eudora." Everyone been very friendly here, but clearly a little bit of that brewery from the rivalry spilling over.
So it will be 3rd and about 5 here. And they've got 3 wide on this near side. It's going to become 4 with the motion man. It's another throw for Maslak. He's 2 for 2 thus far. Make it. Oh, 3 for 3. Morenz on the bobble. Brings it in. 1st down, Chieftains.
That was a beautiful catch. I mean, that's such a tough spot to bring that ball down. And he actually, I think it bounced off his forearms a little bit. He juggled it and had to snag it back out of the air. Just beautiful work from the Chieftains through the air today. You don't have to do it a lot, but you do it just a little bit. It's going to open up the pass game a lot. It's going to keep the run game wide open and give a lot of boost of confidence to this offense.
So it moves the chains, first down. And they are into Cardinals territory again. Both teams have moved methodically down the field, picking up those first downs. And then there's been one big play mixed in. But there will be an eye on the clock as this first half winds on. This is a give to Summers out of the backfield. And whistles seem to be blowing before that play was done. Is there a flag down? No. Timeout taken by the Chieftains. We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout ourselves as well.
At this time, Tonganoxie.
All right, back out of the Chieftains timeout as they will look to continue their drive. This game is presented to us by Kansas Insurance, where they believe in taking time to issue personal care and attention to each individual client. To see how Kansas Insurance can help you protect what matters most, call 913-369-6600. Proudly bringing Eudora Sports Live to Cardinals fans everywhere. We've got 6.5 minutes to go here. It is 1st and 10 for these Chieftains. After a big pass to Morenz, his second grab of the day. Maslak is 3 for 3 through the air, but he will hand this one off to Riedel, who makes a good gain here on first down.
I'm interested to see how much the clock plays a factor here. I wouldn't think it's going to matter much for this Chieftains drive, as they should still have more than enough to get what remaining little field is left for them to try to punch their ticket into the end zone, but it'll also matter for how much time the Cards have left. It's the kind of offense where you know they'd be happy with an extra minute or two on the clock if a scoring drive does happen here.
Another give to Riedel. Dives forward for everything he can get and moves the chains before being brought down by Long.
It's going to be really fascinating as the game wears on to see how two run-heavy teams compare as the game goes deeper and deeper.
I suppose the rain comes back, factors into that.
Usually you see, you know, as the game goes on for the Cardinals, they're so strong at running the ball that you see their run game just get better and better as the game goes on a lot of the time. But I'd be interested to see what it does to the defenses if we get later into the game and both these teams are still running the ball consistently.
And it's a keeper for Maslak. A flag comes down in the defensive linebackers area.
Right close to the line of scrimmage. Could still be something procedural, but maybe a little less likely.
Probably going to be a holding or something along those lines. Let's see what we got here. It is holding on the Chieftains. That'll back them up.
And I go back to that point you mentioned earlier about staying ahead of the chains. You say 3.3 yards a carry is kind of that golden mark. If you can do that per play, you'll consistently get first downs. To anyone wondering why teams get so frustrated about procedural penalties, that's exactly why. If you're getting backed up 5 or 10 yards, all of a sudden you go from, if we get 3 or 4 yards on each play, we're going to be fine to get first downs. All of a sudden that turns into, we need 5, 6, or 7 yards to get those first downs.
We do have a 1st and 15 here, so yeah, to stay ahead of the chains, they'd need more than 5 yards.
It's much tougher for an offense to do consistently.
Maslak will keep this one. He hasn't had an incompletion yet today. Chased down in the backfield, ball's free! It looks like the Cardinals have it! We don't have a signal yet. It is a Cardinals football! Getting to it in the backfield was Elijah Clobes, forcing the fumble, and the Cardinals come up with it and put an end to the Chieftains' drive.
And we mentioned, Coach Stephan himself said it was going to come down to one big play, a couple of big plays from each team. Elijah Klobes, Newt Schreiner, a lot of these DBs and linebackers have been in the backfield consistently all year long. It's just felt like a matter of when they were going to get home before the quarterback could see it. And there he was on Maslak's blind side, Klobes was, and just didn't have time to get rid of the ball. Elijah Klobes did a phenomenal job on the pursuit. Cards defense comes up huge here, Reed.
And now the Cards have 5 minutes to move downfield here and try and take the lead before halftime, where they will get the ball to start the second half. Moody works to his left, gets 3 or 4.
Yeah, now with a little bit of time left on the clock, I'd be interested to see if they opt to try to speed things up a bit and keep a good bit of pace, or just take their time here. But with the field they've got at their regular start of the game pace, this would likely be roughly 4 to 5 minutes for them to get down the field. So they may not have to put much work in slowing it down.
We've got a face mask call against the Cards. That is going to give them a lot more work to do here. Still first down. I think that one's 15 yards.
I do believe so.
So that makes this 1st and 25 now. That is, you want to talk about changing the math.
Right.
That is a big deal right there. The Cards probably have to set their sights on getting all of it back as quick as possible rather than trying to chip away at a 1st and 25.
Yeah, you'd now need just over 8 yards of play if I'm doing the math correctly.
It'll be a fake to Moody. Thomas keeps. Thomas with the head of speed. Thomas will get it all back and more. Still going. And down inside the 40 of the Chieftains.
You want to talk about changing the math? We just went from a really bad mathematical situation to all of a sudden a really, really good one. How dynamic is Cy Thomas, man? How much of an impact does this have on the Cards with him being back in the fold at full strength?
Such an explosive player, but I don't even know if we've seen him explode to the degree that he has on both his touchdown carry and that one right there.
Yeah, this is special. This is maybe the best version of Cy on the ground that I think we've seen in his time as a Cardinals quarterback.
There's a 40-yard run there on 1st and 25. And now it'll be a give to Moody. Moody fighting for what he can get, which will be about 2.
It is very interesting to me. Of course, you know, we talk about how tough it is to take away all the running threats on a team. You can even laser in on one. Even to that degree, though, it's fascinating to me that Grayson Moody has, you know, averaged, I want to say, 2 to 3 yards of carry on the carries he's gotten today, maybe a little bit more. Keelan Duncan and Cy Thomas have both had massive success on the ground. So the Chieftains defense has really focused in on Grayson Moody, and that's allowed the rest of the offense to open up for the Cards.
Cardinals not rushing here on this drive, which makes sense. They're not going quickly, that is. They've rushed it almost every time. They give it to Moody. And he not able to find much space. It's been a dull performance from Grayson Moody, which is not something I don't think we've said all season long.
But at the same time, it comes down to doing your part, I think. If he's able to get the ball and, you know, even with as much focus they're putting on him, if he comes out and gets 3 yards on 1st down, even though the entire defense is focused on him, you've got to think that's something Coach Stephan will still look at and go, okay, like it's 2nd down and 7. We've still got all these dynamic playmakers. Grayson Moody is certainly still doing his job today.
3rd and 7 for Eudora. Thomas, false start. It looked like it was Moody in the backfield. Moved before that ball was snapped.
That's going to be really crucial here.
We seem to have lost the... Oh, there we go.
He's back.
Getting to hear the official. I was interested to hear the number if it was on Moody, because they could have just been saying he was in motion. But there were quite a few players, actually, that jumped before that snap came off. So it's going to become 3rd and 12. Another big conversion necessary for the Cardinals.
I'm just running the numbers in my head. Even if you need 12 yards, I'm trying to think, since the rain is currently not coming down, could Caden Dunback potentially punch something from a little ways out? But the focus has got to be purely 1st down here.
Yeah, I got to go for the 1st down here. 3rd and 12. Thomas rolls to his right, wants to throw. He's looking for White. Wide open, no one near him. Touchdown. There was no one on the same continent as Preston White.
Oh my goodness. Right when you think you got him backed up against the wall, Cy Thomas I mean, that looked like those losing throws you see at the end of a Super Bowl sometimes where a quarterback is just getting swarmed and heaves it up. It looked like he had nothing open from what he looked like in the pocket, and all of a sudden Preston White does what Preston White does so well. Answer the call in big moments, and the Cards really hot start here now, Reed.
He really put what he is capable of on display last game against Independence with 2 fantastic one-on-one catches, and he found so much green area there. Cy Thomas couldn't dare miss him, and he did not. It is 14-7 here, the Cardinals lead. We will take a break and be back. We've got 2:29 to go in the second quarter.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Well, a fantastic play drawn up there for the Cards. Preston White in all kinds of space. The 2 completions for Cy Thomas in this game have been to wide open receivers. It was Keelan Duncan the first time, Preston White the second.
Both on third down, if I recall correctly.
I think you might be right here. Yeah, it was. It was 3rd and 14 the last time. This kick along the ground where it's down at the 24. So that is where the Chieftains will begin. But the Cardinals take the lead for the first time today here with 2.5 to go before halftime, where they will then receive the opening kick. So they are in a really, really nice spot right now.
They are. I think if there was anything, you would never give back the touchdown. I should preface with that. However, I do think it's not quite ideal there. Obviously, you take the touchdown if you can get it, but the Chieftains,
a little too much time, maybe.
The Chieftains do have a bit of time for a rebuttal. You're not thinking field goal, of course. You're thinking touchdown. So if the Chieftains are able to go downfield and score, you're tied up at halftime getting the ball. Your margin for error is still pretty thin. This stop on this drive would be absolutely massive.
Well, to take the other angle from it, Cards have all 3 timeouts as Maslak runs to the left side where he will get held up by Bowser and Schreiner.
Gain of about 5.
The Cards have all 3 timeouts with them, and if you recall last game against Independence, the Cards got the ball with 80 yards to go and 21 seconds on the clock and no timeouts, I think it was.
I believe so, yeah.
And a receiving touchdown for Keelan Duncan was what ensued. Maybe the Cardinals defense can make a stand here, and maybe there's enough time left for them rather than for the Chieftains. Maslak will get this pass off. It'll be completed to the receiver, Morenz. Morenz with his second catch on the day. We have not seen an incompletion from either side. Only a few throws. It's been 6 in total, 4 for the Chieftains. No incompletions on either side.
And what that spells out to me, I'm looking deeper into the game, late 3rd, 4th quarter. If neither team is really making a lot of mistakes through the air, that mistake through the air could be what dictates the outcome of the game.
And we've seen some safe throws from the Chieftains, not really from the Cards, and also the Chieftains have taken the risk a couple times. Maslak will look to throw again, put that perfect record to the test, and he will find Harder, who is brought down right at midfield.
Really good tackle there by Hubler to bring him down and keep it in bounds, which is going to induce a timeout from the Chieftains.
Chieftains use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, so with 1 minute 20 left, they've got 1 more to go. They're at midfield here. And is there a player down? No, it's just the timeout, sorry.
Just the timeout. No, that tackle in bounds was big. I mean, think about it. If these, if the runner's able to get out of bounds there, even get upfield for a few more yards, you're getting out of bounds with about the same amount of time on the clock, and you preserve that timeout instead of having to burn
running the clock. Supposed to be a minute 20 left. Surely somebody will catch that. You know what? Shout out. Right? Let's give another shout out to the clock operators at Eudora, because I think they do a really great job. We're noticing how great of a job they do in comparison.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing for sure. We do not have a lot of errors there on the operation at all. And if I recall correctly, it's because the crew there has been doing it forever and ever and ever, roughly.
So yeah, there should be a minute and 20 to go here. Maybe that's the time of the timeout. I don't know. That could be what it is.
I think we'll find out once the clock hits 0.
Yes, sure. But it'll be 2nd and 5 when the Chieftains come back from the timeout. I think that's what it is. I think it was the time of the timeout. But they left it that minute 20 up there for a while. Anyway, we also normally send you to break, so you don't even see that time.
That's true.
But
that's
I figured we'd keep it here, talk about this big situation here. There it is, that minute 20 back on the clock. And that is all that the Chieftains or the Cardinals have left here in this second quarter before we go to halftime. The Cards up 14-7. Maslak wants to throw again. He's going to be brought down. Oh, my word. It was Duncan and also Garrett Golay getting to him really quickly in the backfield.
I mean, good on Maslak to hold on to the football. He could at least see it coming from that side. But goodness, that could have easily been another strip sack on the fumble for the Cardinals. Easily.
Golay and Duncan.
And now that may actually lead the Chieftains to kind of just walk this one to the half.
Well, it didn't end up being a huge loss. It makes it about 3rd and 10, but they are not moving urgently. They're still going to go for this. They're down. They have to with the play clock situation. Maslak wants to throw, finds Harder on the screen. Harder cuts to the middle, back to the left, and he's, wow, really close. They're going to mark him short.
Ooh, that's a tight spot. Close call. We'll see if the timeout, that last timeout, is taken.
I don't think the Cards would dare take one on this 4th and 1.
Looks like one is taken.
Chieftains do take that final timeout here.
And now they've got to go deep with it, I think. I mean, it's not an option to be conservative anymore. You've got no more clock stoppages that you can control from a coaching standpoint. And we know they can go deep. We've already seen them do it. But certainly love what the Cards have done on this drive, although it is just past midfield. They've put the Chieftains in a spot where their number of possible options with 20 seconds left here is very, very few.
Supporting teachers and students through scholarship and grant funding. Signs are available at the downtown drugstore. Support your education and
20 seconds to go here.
20.7 to be precise.
4th and 1. Scoreboard showing 1st down, but it's 4th down here.
And that's the other tough spot is the Chieftains have to first put their focus on getting this 1st down and then immediately going back to worrying about the clock.
Yeah, and this is dangerous. I mean, it was literally 21 seconds that the Cardinals needed to score last game. If the Chieftains do not get this, it is in a decent spot for the Cards. Maslak will carry it himself, and he will get that first and go straight out of bounds to stop the clock. So this drive will continue for the Chieftains.
That's the best thing the Chieftains could have done there. Get the yards. You don't need to get a ton. Get out of bounds. Preserve as much clock as you can. But certainly still, you got to think they're going to be thinking push the ball downfield is kind of their only option to score here.
That was a big play there for the Chieftains, a big risk that they took. But it did pay off. They had confidence in Maslak, as they have done this entire game. And it was a smart play to get out of bounds. They're going to have to keep doing that, though. They have no timeouts left, so they either need to be prepared to run down and spike it if they get a completion in bounds, or get out of bounds as quick as possible. Harder in motion. It's going to be another throw from Maslak. And he gets it off before getting crushed. It's picked! Interception for the Cards!
And now they may have an opportunity to try to score themselves.
And the interceptor is hurt. It was Keelan Duncan that comes up with it.
My goodness. I was already talking about big game performer earlier, big moment performer, and he does it again.
This is the Keelan Duncan game so far, with honorable mention to Cy Thomas. But
certainly.
Man, I mean, he had that sack with Golay earlier and now picks that one off right at the 30. This will be a tough one for the Cards. I don't think they might just even kneel it, depending. Only 9 seconds. That is the first incompletion.
And technically, it was complete. Just not to the right players.
The officials talking it over. I think they're discussing the potential of there being a roughing the passer. I don't think it was. It was really near to the time he let go of the ball. Maybe they could be judging it based on the severity of the hit, but I don't think that we haven't seen a flag come down, so they're just talking it over. Take a look back at that pick here.
We can take a look for that potential roughing call too. Ball was out of his hands for sure, but Keelan Duncan just stepped right in front of it, did a really good job to read that one. And of course, the quarterback having to worry about being hit right before he throws the ball is always going to affect the accuracy just a little bit.
Let's take one more look at that. I'm interested to judge the time between when he lets go and when he's hit here. It's just like a beat, though. I don't think you can expect much. Like, there's no way he could stop what he's doing there.
Exactly. How much can you really expect a player coming downhill full speed to divert?
Let's see. Are they going to penalize the Cards?
Now the stick's moving. They would have to move him regardless, whether it's a penalty for the Chieftains or turn of possession.
They have just called roughing the passer on that. So the interception is wiped out, and the Chieftains have the 9 seconds left.
And just like that, you're worried about a touchdown once again, and the Cards are having to scramble a little bit to play their defense once again. Crowd loving that. Cards side not a big fan, of course.
So it's a roughing the passer that keeps this drive alive. Still no timeouts and 9 seconds here for these Chieftains. It's not Maslak in there, it's Baron Dome, and he throws and it's complete, and getting out of bounds as quick as possible is Landon Ruff.
It's going to leave time for what's got to be just one more snap left on the clock, just 3.5 seconds, and now maybe trotting out a field goal unit potentially.
Only 3.6 to go, so it makes sense. Baron Dome, the senior, is the backup quarterback. Maslak maybe got hurt on that big play of the big hit. And so they will send out their kicker to go for this one. It is Cody Lobb to try and make this 14-10 from 36 yards out. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. It has the distance. It's good. A good kick from Cody Lobb, the sophomore. We'll get a lot of cheers out of here from the Chieftains. The Cardinals maintain their lead, but it's now a 4-point lead as we go to halftime. Keep it here for the halftime show. 14-10, your Cards lead.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong?
Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Helms Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle, and he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
Go. All right, welcome in. Halftime show brought to us by Attic Storage of Eudora, where they offer climate-controlled units, RV and vehicle storage, plus clean move-in ready spaces. They're a veteran-owned, community-focused business that features 24/7 access with friendly on-site managers. Rent, reserve, and pay online anytime at attic-storage.com. So it is 14-10 here at the half. Maybe a controversial way for it to end, but we were talking about it in the break, and I was thinking, man, for high school officials, they get no replay, nothing like that. I think that it was borderline enough that you can side with the call. Obviously, Cardinals fans not going to like it, and you can maybe even say that letter of the law, maybe it was the wrong call, but there was a beat when he let go of the ball before he got hit. I don't hate the flag there. I wish it didn't happen, but I think we could probably leave it at that unless you want to have a final word on it too. I don't think we should really talk about it much again, even though it did lead to 3 points for the Chieftains.
No, I mentioned it to you in the break, and my final cap-off thought to it was, even if the Cards end up not winning this game, I don't think we should even bring it up, because they're still going to get the ball to start the half up by 4 points. It's still the kind of situation where it's so go either way, and it shouldn't end up affecting a whole lot if the Cards do what we know they can do.
So let's put that one in a box, compartmentalize it, leave that one alone. Make sure we don't get any messages in the mail from our boss, because he doesn't like us railing on officials anyway. But genuinely, I don't think that was that bad of a call.
No.
So let's let it go. Hayden, what are your thoughts on the rest of that first half?
I think we're in line for a really, really fun game. I think, you know, when it starts with both teams' offensive drives being a turnover on downs on fourth down and a turnover on downs on fourth down, you kind of look at it and go, oh, like these are two very evenly matched teams. And then you see their drives go on, and the reason the Cardinals ended up getting up on the scoring was because of an ill-timed turnover by the Chieftains. If not for that, we've got two really evenly matched squads that we've just seen. They've both been able to run the ball. When necessary, they've both been able to throw the ball, which isn't something we've necessarily praised the Cardinals for a whole lot this year. We've known that they could do it when their back was up against the wall, but they've actually made it look like something they could maybe repeat consistently tonight. Both teams can run, both teams can throw. Both teams have had some big moments on defense. We saw from the Chieftains, and we know what the Cards are capable of. Both teams have a pretty strong special teams unit. So I think we're looking at a really, really fun matchup. I am very impressed that the Cards came out with a lead there, because it didn't look like the kind of game that they would be able to take a one-possession lead, and yet they did.
Yeah, the passing touchdown to Preston White was fantastic, and how that changed this complexion of the first half of this game as a whole. I mean, that is why the Cardinals have the lead, and it was just a great play call and great execution. And I'm really happy to see Preston White get the call there, because he absolutely deserves it. This is a team that doesn't prefer passing the ball much. Fair enough, but man, when you've got a receiver like that, get him the ball. And so very excited that he got that call and that he was able to rise to the occasion and get into the end zone. And that is why we see 14 for the Cards, 14-10. And a reminder, it was 0-0 after the first quarter, so all that scoring came in the second quarter. It was both teams stalled out on their first drives of the game, but I think they are growing into it. And then, of course, the strip sack from Elijah Klobes was the big game changer, along with it was followed by a 40-yard run by Cy Thomas on 1st and 25, and that drive ultimately ended in that touchdown from Preston White. So yeah, that is what has gotten us where we are right now. We will take one more break on the halftime show, and then we will be back.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, service.
Everybody can make something. because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Hey, I'm Mike Grope, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Micro, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright.
Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do.
And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done. Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
Number one, obviously, is safety. We definitely call 811 to find out if there are any buried lines, fiber optic, whether it be telephone or pipeline or anything. Don't take a chance. Don't think you know and say, well, I don't remember anything being put in there. Call 811 and make sure that that's identified, that there isn't something there before you make that crossing. Because in the end, we want everybody going home.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
All right, back here on our halftime show. Got about 5 minutes to go. I was going to ask you, Hayden, about halftime adjustments, but before I do that, I wanted to go on a little rant because I saw a video the other day made by NFL Films. Because apparently a year ago, Peyton Manning on the Manning Cast said that halftime adjustments is one of the biggest myths that he's ever heard of, that they don't happen. And so they sat down all these different people, Super Bowl winners and different players and coaches, and they asked them, are halftime adjustments real? Some of them say yes, most of them say no, it's a myth. But then they go on to go, all you do in halftime is decide what's not working and decide what's working and drop the things that aren't working and then do the things that are. That's a halftime adjustment if I've ever heard of one. That's exactly what a halftime adjustment is. You change something. I understand there's only about 15 minutes. That's what they're all saying. Oh, it's so short. You just go in there and, you just catch your breath and change your socks or something. But then they were like, no, you just throw out things that aren't working and emphasize the things that are.
That's an adjustment.
That's a halftime adjustment. So, Hayden, are there what halftime adjustments might we see, if any, from these teams?
I mean, it'll be just that. I mean, in that case, if it's drop the things that are not working and pick up the things that are working, for both teams, they'll say, on first down, we want to run the ball. We want to run the ball unless we are forced into a position where we feel like we need to throw. And if we do, we feel like we can throw. There's not a lot of do-nots. I think the majority of don'ts for both of these teams is going to be don't false start. That was big for both teams. It's going to be don't hold. Don't grab face masks. The procedural stuff, that could very much so end up being a huge part of how this game transpires and plays out. Because I could very much, I'm not predicting it, but I could very much see this being the kind of game that transpires to the point where it ends with, a long touchdown or an incompletion where a holding call brings something back, or where you get a face mask or an ill-timed false start to back someone up. I mean, it could very much so be that kind of game. So I think for both teams, they're just heavily going to emphasize play clean, play by the way we coach, don't make those procedural errors, play good mental football, be cohesive as a unit, But I do also really like the point of maybe halftime adjustments don't exist. Well, nothing major, of course. You're not going to completely flip the game plan on its head.
They came in with a plan. They knew what they wanted to do.
You come in already knowing exactly what you want to go for. But, yeah, for both teams, I think it's just going to be minimize the handful of errors that we saw, which were mostly procedural. And other than that, just keep running the ball and try to avoid situations where you feel like you need to get rid of it by throwing.
All right, well, as the Cardinals come out here, we've got 2.5 left on the clock, so we will go ahead and go to one last break here before the second half gets underway. Keep it here on Eudora Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong?
Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
All right, well, they've thrown 3 more minutes up on the clock here, so we can just go ahead and yap for the next 2.5 before we get to our second half kick. The Cardinals start with the ball. They've also got the lead. How important is the first drive? And we've seen, though, the Chieftains scored first in this game after stalling out their first drive. Same thing happened. Indy scored on their first drive and then lost that game big. So maybe it's not all that important, but it feels like it would be great for them to score first on this drive. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you precisely the reason why it feels like it's so significant is although the Cards have won games where they've allowed, scores on opening possessions or opening possessions to the half even, the reason you want to prevent them is if the opponent scores right out of the break.
Charlie was born
to respond. It puts a little bit more pressure on the Cardinals to respond with perfection. It slims the margin of error that they have, and although so far they have been able to do it, you don't necessarily want to make a habit of making your margin for error razor thin, because at some point things aren't going to roll out the same way. So I think that's the main reason it feels so big is if we score out of the break here, we make it to be 21-10, we can breathe a little, right? We can exhale a little bit. We don't have to be perfect the rest of the game, and we can probably make up for it. Whereas if you don't get a score here, and then the Chieftains go ahead and score, now you're actually down a little bit, and you're going, okay, now we really can't afford to make a mistake for a lot of the game. So, although the Cards have been able to do a good job of it, closing thoughts, I think it is extremely significant for them to try to score on this drive. Although if they don't, we know they can fight back through it.
We also have not seen either team have a 2-possession lead. It's always been a max of 7 points.
I don't think this will be a 2-possession kind of game.
Well, yeah, but if they take the lead, they've got that 4-point lead already, so they could make it a 2-possession lead, which would be really big, just something that you can hold on to.
I guess I should emphasize, I don't think this is the kind of game that will end multiple possessions. This is very likely a 7-point game.
Well, the sun is fully gone now for this mid-October's game, but it is still 80 degrees out right now. The rain is not forecasted to fall until 10.
It's certainly dewy in the air, though. All kinds of humidity and mugginess here still.
And everybody's got umbrellas and ponchos, which they've already needed. It was raining before we got started, but it is clear for the time being. It will be the same player that had the last action of the first half to begin the second half, Cody Lobb, to get us going.
We don't know the exact numbers, but it seems like that kick may have been a pretty impressive one for him in terms of what he's done this year.
Only in his sophomore year, but was a Frontier League honorable mention last year. The Cards actually have 3 players splayed out deep. Hubler and White are the ones on the flanks here, but this one will go short and be fair caught by Gavin Etter. So the Cards will start inside the 30-yard line just a bit.
It's pretty solid field position. I am interested to see what the dynamic looks like for Grayson Moody. I think it's going to be really fascinating to see if Tonganoxie is still equally privy to him running the ball on the ground, and if he's still going to struggle a little bit to get rolling, or if they come out here and the offensive line starts bullying guys up front as they've been doing for a lot of the year, and maybe Grayson Moody gets rolling.
Well, and hey, maybe the Cards just feed the hot hand and keep giving it to 21, Keelan Duncan.
Feels like we're always due for a couple of Bryce Mulvihill touches too at some point.
Well, yeah, that's a great point. Haven't seen him touch it yet. Hubler's out there as well. He's really dangerous with the ball in his hands, but it's Moody.
A little bit of room. Nothing crazy, but does get forward for a gain of a couple. Looked like maybe more space that he's had initially when he got the ball at the line of scrimmage than he had early in the first half. And we also know this Cards offensive line, the kind of unit that as the game goes on, they actually seem to get a little stronger at moving those gaps up front and opening things up for their running backs.
Emphasizes how good the Cards are, that Moody not having a great day. Cards still on top here against a great team.
Yep.
And it feels like Moody could break one off at any time. I mean, he's been so good all season.
There were flags there.
A couple jumps from both sides, but with the play stopping. Oh, looks like the indication is Tongi. We'll see the official call here. Where is the white hat at? Oh, there he is behind.
It is going to be Tonganoxie. They're saying second down, but that's going to move the ball forward a bit for the Cards. Did not see if that was, I would imagine, encroachment, but.
Yeah, they made him jump, so the Cards get closer to the first down marker. Thomas takes this one, gives to Moody. Moody spins, tries to find any room, but just cannot.
It's actually a testament to how kind of freakishly strong he is that he's still getting back to the line of scrimmage on some of these carries, because he's often swarmed behind it.
Yeah, but it feels like the Chieftains get him in a straitjacket immediately every time he gets the ball right now.
And that's got to be kind of frustrating for him. What that tells me is the second he gets a gap, he is going to run like he stole something when he's taken off back down the field, because for a running back, there's not a lot more frustrating than just being bottled up when you've had a season of kind of being untouchable.
And I'm still waiting for the day we see a screen pass to Grayson Moody. I think that would be such a great dynamic to add to the offense. Get him the ball on the wide areas. Thomas is going to keep this one on third down, and he's not going to be able to get the first.
It's going to be about 4 yards to go, so I'm interested to see what Coach Steffen wants to do, and he'll, without much thought, send out the punt unit.
Yeah, dangerous part of the field. Just get it out. We talked about the importance of this first drive, but we've also seen reflected in this game and in games prior that it's not everything. The Cards already have the lead, so it makes sense to play this one safe. Trust in their very trustworthy defense.
Yep.
And let this game just go on without taking any big risks, at least at this point.
And I think you could actually argue perhaps that these Cardinals might play better when their back is against the wall a little bit, when their margin for error is not as large.
Low snap, Duncan gets to it, or Dunback. And it's fielded at the 25, where the returner will go down just to make sure that he maintains possession. Smart play by Brady Martin. Not a bad spot to start it all. The 26-yard line is where the Chieftains will get their first drive of the second half.
Certainly not a bad spot, but I think Caden Dunback has also got to be pretty happy with where he put that ball. It's a really solid punt.
So let's see here. Maslak didn't play the last offensive snap for the Chieftains, but he is back out there. They had Baron Dome come in for one play. We still have not seen an incompletion this game because that interception was wiped out by the penalty.
Right.
So it is 9 for 9 from both teams combined. 7 of those by Tonganoxie, 6 by Maslak, but he'll hand this one off to Riedel, who has their touchdown in this game. Oh, actually, this was Brady Martin, who was the returner.
Spreading the ball around a bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to me to see how the Cards defense approaches this. We can kind of tell sometimes if they're trying to be hyper aggressive or if they're trying to just kind of use that bend don't break philosophy, but we will see here early on. Cy Thomas, worth mentioning, still out at cornerback too. Looks like he'll be there for the whole game.
They've got Silas McCloy in at the fullback position. He has a rushing touchdown on the year. This will be the give to the back, Riedel, and Riedel gets the first down.
And for Tonganoxie, this drive is equally big. We talked about it for the Cards, but I want to mention it for the Chieftains too. If they're able to score on this drive, it's going to give them, again, they're going to exhale a little bit. Breath of fresh air comes out. And we know no lead is truly safe against this Cardinals team, but the Chieftains got to be looking for a little bit of air at this point after the way that second quarter transpired for them. Still a lot of field to go. This Cards defense, still plenty of room to try to get a stop.
Yeah, and the Cards might be looking to force that turnover. I mean, they've had the fumble recovery. They had the interception wiped out, but that still will give you some confidence defensively. This is a carry given to Paxton Summers.
And the Chieftains are now the team that's starting to kind of run the ball at will. That's almost a first down yardage on the first carry.
Summers is a sophomore. He's encroaching on 100 rushing yards this year. Also has 3 sacks on the defensive side from the linebacker position.
Wow.
Summers is the main back here, and he will get the give. Fighting right at the line to gain. See where the spot is. It looks like they might have him just short. We could see 3rd and inches.
Also worth mentioning.
22's out.
Rain is starting to come down here in Tonganoxie, lightly, but we are starting to get sprinkles. Gotta think that's gonna have some impact, even if not a ton, on the way these teams call plays.
Tons of umbrellas have just sprouted out across the crowd here in front of us as it is 3rd and inches. The give to Riedel, and he's got some space. Brought down just inside the arch of that Tongi T. It is a first down.
And I don't want to try to predict it. The ball gets slippery when it first starts to rain.
Sure.
When you first start to get water on it before these players kind of get acclimated for how to carry and hold it, it can get a little bit slippery, so you got to think on these next couple of carries, don't be surprised to see Cards trying to punch at the ball and try to pop it loose here.
Yeah, I've played in the rain too. Your towel eventually gets soaked and becomes useless itself. Maslak hands this one to Riedel. Imagine we're going to see even more of Blake Riedel with this current rain coming down.
And he just looks like a pure ball of energy back there. I mean, every time he gets the ball, it's almost stomping like he's angry at the ground, and really strong aggression. And you're right, as the rain continues to drop down, I would expect to see not less of him, but quite the contrary. I think they'll give it to him more and more for the remainder of this drive.
Got a good pickup there, so it'll be 2nd and short. They do have a receiver on this near side and the far side. I don't think we saw many 2-back sets from him in the first quarter. We've seen it a lot here. First half, that is. Riedel gets the
slipped.
Give. Might see more of that as well.
Yeah. I think his plant foot just completely missed. We were talking to some of the Cards video staff earlier, and we said, at least this field's turf. If it does rain, it's going to likely hold up a little better than grass with. And they said, yeah, but it's going to get slippery.
Due to that slip, he came up short. He had enough green to get that first, but
he did.
Could not capitalize on it, so another 3rd and inches.
Big stop opportunity for the Cards here.
They give to Riedel, and in the backfield and getting him, it's Cage Crable.
Crable, Marks, and Klobes, it looks like the three in there initially, and the Cards come up with a big stop. I don't know if dry or wet grass would have mattered there.
Crable is hyped off of that one, and it will still be a close 4th down here, so the Chieftains will likely end up going for it, but the Cards have forced a jeopardy situation.
Oh man, we're already almost halfway through this third quarter though.
Take a
if
look.
The Cards are able to get a stop.
Take a look at this stop here real quick before the 4th down. Crable just breaks in so fast.
Man, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, great play. So it's 4th and 2 or 3 here. Big spot. Keeping it, the quarterback. Maslak slips, but stays up and spins. Did he get that enough on that one?
Depends if they give him forward progress on the fall or not.
It looks so close. He slipped and then spinned to try and stay up as best as possible.
I think that is 1st down yardage.
And they do get the first. Unreal play by Maslak.
Man, if that initial contact stood, I think he would have been short as well.
That's good. So a Maslak slip does not prevent the Chieftains' drive. It's good. It's good. From continuing. We've got 5 seconds on the play clock here. Need to move quickly. Still not set. 2 seconds. They do get it off. A fake to Summers, kept by Maslak to the right side. Has a little bit of green before being brought down by Duncan. Chieftains moving very effectively right now.
They are. And that's why I think that 4th down was so critical. I mean, the way they've been moving the ball in this third quarter, you've got to think that your opportunities to get them off the field may be few. And I feel pretty comfortable saying we have not seen a team yet this year play against the Cardinals that is just as capable of running clock and getting 1st downs as they are.
With the way their defense has been, maybe it's almost feeling like even more. I don't know.
Certainly.
A give to Summers we're seeing a lot more of here in this second half. Cards quickly get to him. Marks was first, and then a slew of Cards helped bring him down.
And one thing I see the Cardinals do so well defensively that really doesn't get enough credit in my mind is the fact that they very rarely panic or get disrupted even on a long drive. Even when it seems like they're moving backwards and a lot of the fans are kind of just hanging their head going, okay, here's a long scoring drive. The Cards just keep chipping away. They'll get stops when they can. They'll, force small gains when they can, knowing that more than likely, they will find themselves with an opportunity to make a big play, and they're the kind of team that's been able to capitalize on it.
Summers' run was good for the 1st down. 3 wide here, but it's going to be a give. And fighting for everything he can get is Silas McCloy, the sophomore.
It's very interesting to see how many different runners have been deployed for Tonganoxie here.
We didn't see much of that at all in the first half. There was a little bit of giving it to Summers, but it was really just the Riedel and Maslak show.
And maybe they looked at it and said, that's something Eudora is going to be ready for, and they're diverting the other way into their credit. It's working really well.
It still does feel like Riedel is far and away the most effective other than Maslak with the ball in his hands. But yeah, spreading around the love. And of course that creates the possibility of a pass if they ever want it. We've seen it, 7 passing attempts, 7 completions for the Chieftains thus far. It will be another give to the sophomore. Cardinals quick to swarm, but sometimes those Chieftains able to stay up through a lot of different contact.
That's going to bring up 3rd down and very short. We mentioned opportunities for the Cards defense. This is yet another one where if they want to get off the field or try to force a 4th down stop, this is going to be a big moment to do it in the rain. Looking to come down harder than it has most of the night right here.
Here is the 3rd down through the driving rain, and will this drive continue for the Chieftains? Fighting for everything is McCloy. He may have gotten it. I think upon first contact, he had no chance there.
No.
But he crawled for it and got it.
And this is the mark of a good team. What Coach Steffen said about this team being better than that loss against Spring Hill shows. In the big moments, 3rd downs, they have just continued to be ruthless at getting them, which is so tough on a defense too. All those opportunities where you think you're going to get off the field, and Tonganoxie keeps denying the Cardinals here in the 3rd quarter.
They are 12 yards out from the end zone, so not 1st and goal. 1st and 10 for the Chieftains. who have been really efficient here on their mission to take the lead back in this game. 3 seconds on the play clock. Maslak hands it to Riedel. Riedel to the left side. He's in. Is he? Oh, he's short. What a last-second tackle there to keep the chance of the Cardinals making a stop here alive.
Man, this is, I don't want to say Ottawa-esque because that was first down and goal from the 2, I think, that they had to stop it 4 times, but man, oh man, tough spot for the Cards defense here.
Here is the give to Riedel, and this time he is in. His second touchdown of the game does give the Chieftains the lead here with a minute to go in the third quarter.
And Tonganoxie refusing to go away here. Mentioned it at the half, but this is one of those things that makes me believe we are in for a really, really fun one here in the fourth quarter. As we draw later, these teams just refuse to stop making a fight.
So Riedel with his second score of the game, and now they send out the kicker Lob to try and make it a field goal lead.
I also want to bring out, beautiful as this is, the rain slowed down almost immediately after that score.
Lob's kick is up and through. 17-14. The hosts lead here once again. The Cardinals have a minute and a half left in the third quarter to respond when we're back.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
All right, back here after the score for the Chieftains. Cards have been dangerous on the kick return. There was a 40-yard return earlier by Des Hubler. Lob has had some different styles of kicks. This one comes a little bit short. Preston White at the 22. Preston White dangerous with the ball, but brought down at the 27. So 3 timeouts, a minute and a half, and most of the field to go, 63 or so yards for the Cards to go. Does that mean they want to throw the ball, Hayden? Is that too dangerous? I mean, we've also got so much time in this game, but there's not so much time. It is winding down, but a good amount of time. I'll just throw it to you.
I would think because there's no change of possession at the end of this quarter and the timeouts carry over, I wouldn't expect to see the Cards use their timeouts or push the pace too heavy here, but I think if they can get to midfield by the end of this quarter, they're looking really good offensively.
Hubler motions. It's a snap to Thomas. Thomas throws! He's got him open. Can he bring it in? He does catch it. It's Julian Otis.
The hero of basketball season comes up big.
There's a flag down back near where the line of scrimmage was. Oh, no. Oh, illegal chop block on the defense.
So that's going to tack yards on, if I recall correctly.
That's exactly right. The Cards with a huge play. They did look to throw it on first down, catch the Chieftains napping, and Julian Otis with a big grab. I thought for a second he might not bring it in. Those ones over the top are hard.
They're so hard to track.
And he had to keep judging it and try and bring it in against the night sky, but he did make the play.
Well, and props to him with 2 Chieftains hunting him down, and you could see him constantly readjusting to it, catching it over and over in the lights. Beautiful catch there from Julian Otis, and a maybe even better throw from Cy Thomas. And there's the extra yards being tacked on, and the Cardinals are going to be close to knocking on the door of the red zone after starting far enough back that we just wanted them to get to midfield.
It's a 31-yard reception by Julian Otis, and then there will be more yards tacked on to the end of it with the chop block
I think it'll end up being a 46-yard play in total.
Yes, it also stops the clock for the time being. Carnegie in there, and he handed that one off to Keelan Duncan.
And Duncan gets forward for a few yards, makes it a much more manageable second down.
Carnegie got the first snaps of the game at QB, but we haven't seen him for a while. Thomas has been very effective.
Maybe all that running around at DB is finally starting to wear a little bit.
Maybe it signals some sort of change in the attack after that throw. You don't know.
Very much so. And we know Houston Carnegie is capable in both facets, too.
Yeah.
We know he can throw and we know he can run.
And the Cardinals like using both QBs. It doesn't mean anything about Thomas's performance.
Nope.
Carnegie, doesn't bring in the snap. Moody has to fall on it. Does fall on it. That was dangerous there. The Chieftains were lurking. They saw that one the second the ball came out.
One veteran play by Moody there, where he stood over it, kind of hoping the ball would bounce back up to where he could grab it and try to make a play with it. But as he seemingly felt the presence of some Chieftains breathing down his neck, he opts to just fall on it. That's going to make things a little bit trickier here from a yardage standpoint for the Cards. Going to put them at third down and a little bit longer, it appears.
Could potentially be field goal range for Dunback. This will be the last play. Actually, we won't even get one as there's more time on the play clock than the game clock. So we will switch sides and return for the fourth quarter with a 3rd and 6 for the Cardinals at the edge of the red zone. They trail 17-14. Keep it here on Eudora Sports Live.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
All right, fourth quarter underway here. Cards do trail. They led at halftime. They are on a great drive here. Thomas with the ball in his hands. He has some open receivers downfield. He's going to find Otis.
And he signals quick. First down. The Cardinals' pass game continues to actually look not even just possible, but actually something repeatable for them. They've been able to throw the ball very well all day long. Cy Thomas, great composure there.
That was unbelievable. He had lots of options open, but when he left to his left side against his strong side, I was like, there's just no way he finds the opportunity to throw.
Well,
but that's exactly what he did.
And he didn't even have to throw it super off platform either. Actually gave himself time to set his feet and make a technically good throw.
I mean, that is something professionals struggle to do.
Right.
Carnegie now under center. Looked like the Chieftains jumped. Man, I don't know if the Cardinals are reacting in response.
Or if high school rules are maybe different.
Yeah, you'd love to see them get that free play there.
But it will go against the Chieftains.
Another mistake like that. It's been mostly coming from Tongi. Especially in this second half. The Cardinals will take the free yards.
And it looks to be, once again, Carnegie coming in at QB. And like you mentioned earlier, that doesn't mean Coach Steffen feels some kind of way about the performance of one QB or the other. He just likes to use both.
It is interesting, though, having Carnegie in here. Thomas feels like the type of guy you'd want in the red zone. It'll be given to Moody.
But if Moody can roll forward for a few.
I wonder if it's possible there's anything on the way that it's being handed to Moody.
Maybe.
That could be leading to those struggles. I have no idea. That is just completely theorizing.
And I'm not confirming it, of course, but as a running back, you could think that there's maybe an aspect of comfort to the way you receive the ball, but pure speculation from up here in the booth.
A really tight set here for the Cards. White, the only receiver, Carnegie under center. Carnegie will give to Moody. Moody fighting, and he's in!
He's so close, if not in.
They call it a touchdown. Grayson Moody. He is had a hard time getting anything more than 5 yards on a carry, but he didn't need it there and gets into the end zone and gives the Cardinals the lead back.
Now it feels like the gloves are kind of off as far as scoring goes. We may very much so just see that kind of score the rest of the way out. And that's when defense and pass rush and all the potential explosive plays become that much more important.
This is a big kick here to make it a field goal lead from Dunback. Down, up, and a great kick right down the middle. 21-17. This is shaping up to be the great game we knew that it could be. Keep it here. More action when we're back.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong?
Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
It is Grayson Moody who scored the touchdown to kick this one off. A shorter kick that will come down at the 20 and be bobbled. It's on the ground. I think the Chieftains still come up with it. They do. Oh my word. You can even see the player there, Jacob Morenz, took a sigh of relief.
And Jarrett Phillips was right there breathing down his neck to try to get it back from him.
Let's see if we can see on the replay how close. Oh no, we don't. Oh, it'll be the whole kickoff here. Let's see if we have time enough for this before the first snap.
I think it's just wet. I mean, it's just so easy to, it's tough to bring in a kick regardless, but a good job to fall back on it for
Brings
sure.
it in, then take a look. He had a little. But they do come up with the ball. Could have potentially been the type of play that we say lost them the game right there.
Right.
But instead it is kept alive, which Moody had the same recovery on it on the Cardinals drive. So it is 1st and 10 for the Chieftains around the 27-yard line. Under center here will be given to Riedel. And on his back and bringing him down, Newt Schreiner.
Goodness. Newt Schreiner jumped on his back. I do not feel uncomfortable whatsoever in saying he truly jumped onto his back there. And this could be, I still, as we come later into this game, I love the fact that these teams seem to have a fairly similar identity in terms of how they like to structure their drives.
Yeah, I don't know if the Chieftains are, I guess they just keep running it because they're also running the clock.
Right.
I mean, their pass attack has been dangerous, but they have not thrown the ball this second half. Riedel.
I think there is also a degree of potential risk to it as well, where if you don't need to throw the ball, you know, you're taking the chance. We already had a sack earlier where the ball popped out. I mean, it's just at some point, if we can do it, yes, we'll do it. But you got to think the coaching staff is not going to be wanting to pull that button too early on if they can avoid it.
It's going to be 3rd down and short here for the Chieftains.
Big opportunity for the Cardinals.
Make sure they don't jump on the line. It was close there. And this will also be a close marker. Looks like they're giving it to him. They are.
Oh, and I got to tell you what, if that ball was a cleaner, especially if that was a pass play, Keelan Duncan fired off the edge and was in the backfield when that ball was received. The Cards defense itchy here in the 4th quarter, doing all they can to try to bring up that big play for sure.
We are getting the great game that we knew we could between these two teams, some of the best in the Frontier League. Hubler was out of position there for a minute, gets there covering the slot receiver, but it is a handoff. And man, Riedel just teleported there.
He truly, goodness. I mean, you saw the entire pile stop and then Riedel truly kind of just appeared 4 yards past everybody. So impressive. His running style's been a blast to watch too.
They've got him listed at 5'8", 150. I was thinking he doesn't seem like he's that built of a player. but he just manages to slip through everything. It's got to be a little bigger than that. That has to be freshman numbers or something.
And again,
another first down for Riedel. He is definitely shifty.
The size of the dog in the fight more so, I suppose. I agree with you, though. I don't know if that number's necessarily accurate. He seems to be a fair bit bigger than that.
Something along those lines, but 5'8", 150 sounds like a joke.
5'8", 150 seems like a joke for a player if I told you we're 4 quarters in and they're still running all over the opponent.
Right.
Like that's a very impressive stat line for any player.
He's a junior, so maybe those are his freshman or sophomore
look at
weight specifications.
The size for Grayson Moody, I bet's pretty different from this year to last, so always possible.
Here's the 1st and 10 from right at midfield. Maslak will keep it. It's actually been a little bit since we've seen the quarterback keep it, and he will not go anywhere. Cards get to him. Clobes was in on it, along with
That's the captain,
Garrett Golay.
Steve Crable was right there as well, always getting all kinds of excited after negative plays that go in the favor of the defense.
2 back.
Riedel comes back in, switching for Summers. And they also throw in the fullback McCloy, so we will likely see a 2-back set here. And near side, Morenz is the receiver, the only receiver out wide. Got Harder, and he'll go in motion. It'll be a fumble! Is it still loose?
Oh, that ball was
loose. The quarterback dives for it. What do we got here?
Neither team's celebrating yet. Makes you think it's still very much so up for grabs.
It's got to be the Chieftains ball, I guess, from the reactions here. It is.
Oh.
Unbelievable save there.
It feels like a matter of not if, but when at this point, right? That the Cardinals get the turnover. Seems like it may be in the form of a fumble, but could really go anyway at this point.
And now Riedel is hurt. He's going to come off.
Oh, no.
They got a new ball. They got a dry ball they're throwing.
It may even just be a substitution. He was looking down at his hands after the gloves came off, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be a massive injury there, but maybe something he needs a second.
Right.
But 3rd down and 11 now. The Cards standing strong right at midfield. The fake to Harder. Maslak keeps. He has room. He has still going, and he's got the first before Duncan crushes him out of bounds.
What a beautiful run that was. I mean, there were multiple times there where it looked like the Cardinals may have had an opportunity to bring him down, and he just slips through. He does a really good job of it. And as soon as he got through the first level of the defense, Chieftain fans in front of me were celebrating, which makes me think that is something Maslak has done really well all year long. We've got to think so based off it tonight.
We still have not seen the Chieftains throw the ball this entire second half after going 7 for 7 through the air in the first 2 quarters. Also felt like it had been a little bit since we saw Maslak keep it, and then he did on a couple plays there. The first one went nowhere.
Sure.
Second one is able to convert on 3rd and 11. Harder in motion, and then a give to Riedel. He's back.
He is back.
Speared down after a pickup of 8.
Man. Just a heavyweight clash is how this feels. Both teams have so many punches they can pull that are reliable and that work well, and it feels to me like it's going to come down to which team can stop the other's hook at a good time.
I mean, if the Cardinals get a stop right here, they could try and eat as much clock as possible. 2nd and short here.
No small matter, though, getting this team off the field.
Yeah, running out of room to make a stop. It'll be a give to Riedel once again, and he is going to get the first. Both teams have all 3 timeouts as well, so they can extend that. What we have is the remaining 6 minutes for now. They can extend that as long as they need.
Their line is gassed again.
Really interesting to see the shift for the Chieftains. They really did make a halftime adjustment of some sort.
Yeah.
One was spreading the ball around more. Now we're seeing more of Riedel, but they spread it a lot.
The first part of that 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and they didn't throw it. They have not thrown it at all.
It's a beautiful thing when you don't have to.
And this is Riedel finding more room. And trying to bring him down is Duncan, and he will finally pull him back right at the 10-yard line. It's probably going to be Angola. Now flags as there's some pushing and shoving going on in there.
Oh.
These flags will be big depending which way they go. If it's
well, in Chieftain players, that was Morenz was trying to signal the rest of the team to calm down.
Now this could either back up the offense or make it only 5 yards to go to score.
It looks like the Chieftains who are mostly trying to plead their case to the officials, but
dead ball after the play, personal foul on the Chieftains.
Wow.
So that'll back them up. It'll still be first down. It's interesting to think about how that plays in. I mean, it will allow them to try and kill more time.
Sure.
But it's going to make more work to do. I mean, they're definitely not going to see it as a positive, but it might not entirely work against them because they don't want to leave time for this Cardinals offense. How far are they backing them up here?
They're going to start from the 25, right at it looks like.
But it'll still be 1st and 10. So they got that conversion and then got backed up. So 1st and 10 from right on the 25.
Now the Cardinals defense, man, if you're able to come up big now, we're running low enough on time. You could flip the entire night on its head with a stop here.
They're running the same thing to the left.
And it's again Riedel. And this time wrapped up. No gain or very little gain. Long was in on that one as well as Marks, it looked like.
And the Cardinals maybe now becoming a little more privy to where it seems the Chieftains are wanting to go with the ball, but you know they're still so capable of ripping off a long run. It means your gap discipline at the line of scrimmage has to be near perfect in order to keep any of those gaps from opening up. Riedel's so dangerous if you give him one spot to take a step.
We are under 5 to go in the game. 21-17, the Cards lead on the road. The give to Riedel, tries to break it outside. Schreiner will be the one to bring him down. And it'll be 3rd down and medium.
That's a big moment for Schreiner. I mean, the fact that he was able to shoot through there and bring down the very difficult Riedel.
7's coming on.
That's really, really big. And now this stop, I feel confident saying at this point in the game, the biggest defensive snap for the Cardinals thus far. Or at least one of, for sure.
Definitely up there. Oh, and Riedel, is he actually coming off here? He is. They sent out an extra receiver. Are they going for an empty set here?
It does look like an empty set.
They sent out Landon Ruff in place of the running back.
I'd be keeping an eye on Maslak in the backfield.
First, yeah, it's true. I was about to say this will be the first passing play, but no guarantee. Maslak doesn't just keep it. That's exactly what he's going to try to do. Maslak will not get the first, though, and it will be 4th down. Cardinals looking for a flag.
When it's back, it's far enough out that this is not an easy instant call to go for it. Chieftains do have all 3 timeouts, so if they were to opt to take the field goal, they could put some trust in the defense to make a stop, but,
yeah, but
I wouldn't feel good about it.
I don't think they can even trust in getting the field goal. Their kicker made a great kick before, but he's 2 of 4 on the year from the field goal spot, so
this is it.
They're going to go for it.
Clock is running.
This won't be game, but it'll feel like it. Maslak throws, and it's incomplete.
Oh, that's the biggest celebration I've seen on the Cards side all season long to this point, Reed.
Let's take a look.
Braden Marks is running laps.
Let's take a look back at this pass deflection here. See who got in on that play. Hubler was motioning all the way across. I think it ends up being his play. It is.
Yeah,
it's the sophomore, Des Hubler.
Just a curl route on the outside.
Great break on the ball. Fantastic job by the sophomore. I said it's not game. It is not game because the Chieftains have all 3 timeouts and the Cardinals are in an unfavorable position on the field.
Cards do need some first downs.
Feels like that could potentially be the type of play that you're talking about after a victory.
Absolutely could be. Getting positive yardage here is going to be really, really big.
Yes. The toss to Moody. Moody finally finding some room.
And at a moment where the Cards needed it, he comes up with some positive yardage. You mentioned that the field position was not favorable. The only way that really matters is if you don't get anything, or especially if you go backwards on first down. So getting that positive play, I think, is much bigger for this offense from a play calling standpoint than it feels. And now the clock's still running. The Chieftains know, having all 3 timeouts, the only way you really want to use them is if you get a stop on first down, you use 1. You get another stop on second down, you use another stop on third down, you use the 3rd and final, and that'll mean to where you can run basically no clock off and get the ball back.
So do they maybe think about it here then on another first down?
If you make the stop, yes, but then it puts all the power in the Cards' hands. 1 first down essentially destroys that strategy.
They will get a quick stop and call a quick timeout, just as you said, Hayden.
And now it is still pressure for the Cardinals. You can't, they're certainly not exhaling going, oh, we got him exactly where we got him. It does mean for the Chieftains, their margin of error calling that timeout is now essentially 0. They have to be perfect for these next 2 snaps, because if the Cardinals are able to get 1 first down, although the Chieftains can still stop the clock, the Cardinals now have enough downs that they can just continue to run clock until eventually they burn all of Tonganoxie's timeouts. So these next couple of plays, you're going to expect to see the Chieftains as tense and as anxious as we've seen them at any point in this game. These are the 2 biggest defensive snaps for the Chieftains if they want to get this ball back.
And the Cards need to protect that ball well. It's been on the ground a few times. Mostly Tonganoxie putting it on the ground, but the Cards have as well.
It has happened. Sky is mostly dry at this point, but still drizzle's coming down for sure.
It'll be Carnegie at QB here. See the drips. There's some water residue across players' gloves and uniforms and towels and everything.
Absolutely.
Here is the 2nd down play. The give goes to Duncan, and Duncan's going to be brought down in the backfield.
And this is as loud as Beatty Field has been all day long. The Chieftains got exactly what they needed there. And that'll be their 2nd timeout.
I think it was Jack Reichman that got in the backfield there. The sophomore linebacker had a game-sealing interception against Lewisburg and is trying to make a game-changing play here. The Chieftains take that 2nd timeout, trying to preserve everything that they can here.
And Reed, I'll just bring this up and float it to you. How massive would it feel for this Cards offense on the road if Cy Thomas, or Houston Carnegie even, gets a completion on 3rd down to essentially put this game on ice?
I thought you were maybe predicting a Cy Thomas run. This is the type of play where he would
very much
find the seam and get a first, but no, a throw.
I mean, like, can you imagine a Preston White catch right now?
The only thing on that is if it goes incomplete, you kill no time and you let Tongi hold on to that last timeout.
Yep.
So I just don't think you can, because you've got to burn Tongi's timeouts if nothing else. But I like the idea. I think definitely, they've got Carnegie out there, but I was thinking this could be the type of thing where Thomas makes a difference. Maybe it's a Duncan-type play. You need somebody that can explode for those 15 yards, at least has the ability to. This is going to be 3rd and 13.
This is a Duncan situation for sure.
Well, let's see what they opt for here.
Tonganoxie Field screaming here.
It helps that the Cards have the lead. They don't need to go for broke here. The 3rd and 13. Carnegie will look to throw. Does throw for White! Oh, just over his head. A flag, though.
There's the flag. You got to think that's part of what Carnegie was hoping for. You know that you're either going to be able to get the flag or get the catch. White comes up celebrating.
It seemed like it almost could have been out of reach.
Yeah, and you can see why Tonganoxie's so frustrated about the potential prospect of a flag.
White hat. Pass interference, the call does come. I was waiting to get excited there just because it could have been called uncatchable. But that is a huge play for the Cards. I mean, virtually game stealing almost. I don't know. There's a lot of work to do still to get to the end of this one.
And the display does show 3 timeouts remaining for the Chieftains, but it is just 1.
Yeah. We've got it here. Hayden, you want to walk us through this on the replay here?
Yeah, I mean, it's, Carnegie first, a clean pocket and a good shot. It's a little bit overthrown for sure, so you could complain a little bit maybe, but that's also something quarterbacks can do. You have the option to, maybe get a flag on those balls even if they're not caught. But you can certainly see why the Chieftains would be upset about it. That was all the tension that this whole game has had mounted right there.
Moody gets the carry, gets a couple, and the Chieftains burn that final timeout with 2:07 to go. So the Cards now, if they can get one more first, can just kneel this one out.
Now you can see almost, I noticed earlier on the Chieftains touchdown, the rain started downpouring just before they scored, and then the rain all of a sudden stopped. The rain seems to like a dramatic moment here.
Yeah. The teams talk it over. The Chieftains taking their last timeout. They know that they must make the stop right now. They cannot allow one more set of downs for the Cards. That would be it. The Cards look to try and win 6 consecutive games for the first time in a decade.
And Reed, we haven't mentioned it a ton, but Frontier League-wise, this is the game we'll look back on. There is a legitimate possibility that we look back at this game and go, yeah, that was a lot of it. I mean, that was a big portion of where this Frontier League trophy goes at the end of the regular season. Both of these teams are playing for it all tonight, truly.
2:07 is all that's left in this game. It is second down here.
Coach was trying to get to the ref as quick as possible.
He was just making sure that the clock was doing what it's supposed to. It's currently winding the timeout. They want to make sure that it's on the 2:07 instead. There it is. Now we will be able to get going again. Card's going to go ahead and re-huddle. Looks like the official making them as he's got the ball in a bear hug, keeping it as dry as possible.
And that will start the clock winding once again, the play clock down to just over 10 seconds. Should be plenty for the Cards here, though.
Second down. The toss to Moody. Moody fighting for what he can get, and he's going to get a decent pickup.
It's going to be about half the yardage required for the first.
And remember, the Chieftains now cannot stop the clock, so the Cardinals will wind every possible second off before they go for the third down.
And Reed, I think this is, you can even see it from a distance, I think this is the most rain we've seen throughout the entire game here, which just puts even more emphasis on ball security.
Holding the ball,
Hold on tight to it. I don't even love seeing a toss to Moody there.
It is interesting. They've done it a couple times now.
Right.
Maybe that's to give more margin for error. I mean, if that goes wrong, it'll be right in front of him rather than right in front of the defensive line.
True, at his feet. That's possible. That's very much so possible.
I guess the Cards are going to call a timeout here because there's only 3 seconds left on the play clock. So Coach Stephan eats every possible second before calling one of his 3 timeouts.
Gotta love that.
So it'll be 1:17. You know what? I guess we can go ahead and send you to one more break here before we get to the conclusion to this thrilling game.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong?
Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
For the best care for your...
All right, 1:17 out of the timeout. It is third down here. If the Chieftains make the stop, they will still have a faint heartbeat. If they do not make the stop, Cardinals will be able to kneel this one and win.
That means this is everything, though. This snap is do or die for Tonganoxie, truly.
Motion is Mulvihill. Now he comes back. 3 seconds on the play clock. The Cards can't call 2 consecutive timeouts, can they?
We'll see. Coach Stephan definitely waited as long as he possibly could before calling it.
I thought that was a penalty to call 2 straight timeouts.
Suppose we'll see what the call is.
It doesn't
here.
look like anything's coming here, so we can go ahead and keep you here. Maybe that's just a rule at the higher levels.
I did also like the little veteran savvy from Houston Carnegie when you saw the motion initially from Mulvihill. Before that ball was snapped, Carnegie looked back at him and kind of very calmly, get back over here. He knew that calling that time, you know, if they know it's not a penalty, not calling that timeout was not worth potentially having a false start that backs you up.
So all still well for Eudora, I suppose. There will be 1:15 seconds on the clock.
And the clock is winding, but we know now that's
just
the timeout.
Just a timeout. I am surprised, though. I wonder what happened there to take a timeout and then have miscommunication like that, but it's good that they were able to recover, not have anything go wrong because of it.
I think they took the less consequential misstep of the 2 for sure. Here it is.
So third down here and 5 to go. The Chieftains wanted to go back up to a minute 17. I wondered about that. It was a minute 17 before any play happened, and then 2 seconds wound on the what ended up ultimately being no play. So they want those 2 seconds back. Every second crucial.
Can't blame them for it.
There it is.
There it is back on.
So it'll be a minute and 17 to go, which is the right call.
Yep, that's correct. But if the Cardinals do their job here, it shouldn't matter all too much.
Moody, the main back. Carnegie under center. It's a gift to Duncan. Duncan gets the first! Keelan Duncan still on his feet. He should just go down and be safe, and he does.
He does hit the ground.
That will do it for the Cards. They will just kneel and take the win.
What a big moment for Keelan Duncan, too. He seems to thrive in those moments all the time. He does it again to perhaps put the game on ice for Eudora here. What a game, Reed. What a fourth quarter here.
What a season for the Cards. It continues to roll on here. They are still untouched in the Frontier League.
And we can't call it undefeated yet in total because they do have one more matchup. That'll be hosting Paola next week. Of course, a Frontier League matchup before postseason ball begins.
Yeah, what a season this has been for the Cards, and it will continue on here. And that will do it. That puts us under 30 seconds to go. So the Cardinals can now celebrate. Victory formation will bring them their win. 21-17 will be our final score. A win on the road in Tongi, a first win over the Chieftains for a couple years now. And the W is going back to the other side on 212. The battle of 212 here won by the Cardinals. I guess we should let those 5 seconds tick down so it's officially a final score. And then there it is. Your Cardinals have won this game 21.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
One more time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
All right, post-game show here brought to us by Eudora Animal Hospital. For 40 years, Eudora Animal Hospital has been caring for pets and livestock with fair pricing, trusted service, and compassionate care. Pet owners from across the region trust their four-legged friends to Eudora Animal Hospital. To learn more, visit their website, eudoravet.com. 21-17 the final, Hayden. I've said it a couple times. This is the longest win streak since 2015. That was an 8-game win streak that they had in 2015. So the Cards continue to try and match that. This is the longest win streak they've had under Coach Steffen. He had a couple 4-game win streaks back in 22. But this is the most effective Cardinals team, apparently, that he has coached, at least by schedule-wise and however it's all working out. I mean, they have run through some tough teams and beat them very well. This was another example of that. They hand the Chieftains only their second loss within the Frontier League and remain undefeated, now at 5-0 in district. Really, really impressive showing. What are your thoughts on the way this game went?
Well, I'm just so impressed with the Cardinals, their effort here, their efficiency. I do also want to highlight, we had not yet seen the Cardinals in a position where they had as much pressure on them late in the game as they did here, because this is not really closely either the closest game the Cardinals have had all year. And it's not really a close margin. I believe they had a 10-point victory over Spring Hill and maybe a 20-point loss to Topeka Hayden, if I recall. But this is, they have kind of rolled everyone else they've played. This was a very, very close game all the way through. They weren't even leading at one point in the fourth quarter, which they haven't seen at all this year aside from that first game of the season, which they lost. I'm just so impressed with, mainly, I think the main thing I'm impressed with is how well we saw the Cardinals tonight able to pivot when Grayson Moody wasn't able to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the offense. We hadn't really yet seen, you've got to think every coach coming in was just saying, stop 4. If we stop 4, we don't really know what this offense has for us. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, although the Cardinals didn't run up the score, touch that 33 mark that they've on average hit this year, the defense played so well they didn't have to. And they ran the ball so well that they limited possessions enough to where Tonganoxie never really had an opportunity to run the score up past that. I'm just so impressed with every facet of the Cards' performance. The special teams was rock solid. The defense didn't necessarily have any huge turnovers, aside from the turnover on downs early, that Keelan Duncan interception that ended up coming back. They just were stout all day long. Keelan Duncan was phenomenal on the ground. Cy Thomas was maybe the most explosive I think you and I have ever seen him be at this level. I don't know. I'll throw it back to you, but I'm kind of at a loss for words with how impressed I am with this Cards team.
No, a word I'll throw in there is composure, because they have not had a game this close, as you said, and this was one that went back and forth where they held the lead, they lost the lead, and they never were worried. Even when the ball was on the ground, they were able to stay calm and fall on it and make sure that they maintained possession. They did the right things. They did not play hero ball. They did not try and do something they're incapable of. They stayed within themselves. They played their best football, and that's why they won. Yep. And that is something they have not had to do yet, and they will undoubtedly have to do as the postseason is upon us soon. And so being able to do that now in a situation where this is a great practice for the sake of postseason games where you're going to be coming up against the best teams around. And this is one of the best teams around, and the Cardinals still got the better of them by 4 points, a one-possession win, the first time that has happened this season. And first time in, I think, a few years for this matchup. It's been blowouts mostly. The last 2 years, Tongi, then the year was before that, the Cardinals. This has mainly been a lopsided matchup one way or another.
Not tonight.
These are two great teams right now, and the Cardinals are just 4 points better, according to the way that this one played out. And
I'd say maybe 2 plays better.
Yeah, I think that's a fair reflection, but yeah, just a great game. And yeah, the word I wanted to throw in there was composure, because that's tough. And we've seen Cardinals teams in the past struggle with that, where if it's a close game, you start to do something that you take risks that you shouldn't. I think specifically on the play where Cy Thomas rolled out, had his receivers downfield, but it seemed like, oh, he's going to just tuck and run. It was
on
kind of
third down, nonetheless.
It was kind of like, oh man, he's gonna run it and not get it. Then he sets his feet, makes a perfect throw, and gets the first, and you're like, wow. You don't see that play at most levels, and he did it perfectly. And so that was just, this was a really good game for Cy Thomas. He's been great all season when he's been healthy, but this felt different.
Even by his standards.
Yeah, this felt different. He made a real impact in this game, and just fantastic game for the Cardinals. They deserved the win. The Chieftains, they did deserve a close game. Absolutely.
Yes,
I mean,
100%.
Riedel specifically and Maslak were fantastic. Really surprised. They completely abandoned the pass game. They did not throw it once in the entire second half after going 7 for 7 in the first half. Really, really surprised by that. This Cardinals team is specifically vulnerable through the air and deep. We saw it when they targeted Morenz. He had a 55-yard reception early, and we've seen that the exact same thing happened with Independence. For their first drive, they got the better of the Cards through the air and then never did it again, except for the only other score that they got. I don't know if there's something that the defense is doing that's forcing that. Maybe I'll have to ask Coach Stefan about that.
100%.
But it's really surprising because that has been something where whenever teams pull out a deep pass, it tends to work against the Cards. And so you just imagine they go back to that, and they tend to not, which has been very interesting, but the Cardinals will take it. They have no problems with the way that this game played out. I think that everybody likely made it out healthy, and I think that is a great win, something you wanted to.
I also just want to tack on the composure point. When you look at a game that's this low scoring, losing your composure in any of those couple of moments we think about would have cost them this game. I feel relatively confident in saying.
Think about the penalties for the full. I was thinking about the fight that was
correct.
It ended up being only the Chieftains players, and that backed them up.
If somebody loses their temper and fires off, it seemed like it wasn't even a struggle for them to just keep their mouth shut, don't say anything you'll regret. And Grayson Moody, when that fumble hits the ground, I mean the composure to kind of sit there, wait for 1 bounce, 2 bounce. All right, it's not going to come to me. Fall on it. Cy Thomas rolling out. The coaches, I'm sure a lot of the time would say, throw it away, throw it away. On third down, you've got to have so many thoughts running through your head. Part of you wants to throw it deep. Part of you wants to tuck it and run, even though he likely wouldn't have gotten the yardage. Maybe the Cardinals miss that 4th down and don't score on that drive. I mean, at any point, losing their composure, I feel relatively confident in saying, would have cost them this game, and they never did.
I'll just call out some of the different big plays I wrote in my notebook just to sort of jog the memory. Think about the Klobes forced fumble on Maslak, the strip sack.
Huge.
Then there was a 40-yard run by Cy Thomas on 1st and 25. Then that drive ended with the Preston White 35-yard touchdown reception. There was the split sack between Golay and Duncan. Let's see, we've got the 31-yard reception for Julian Otis. There was also that fumbled shotgun snap for Carnegie that Moody fell on, which was a great play to keep the drive alive. The Cardinals would end up scoring after a 3rd down conversion by Otis and then a short rushing touchdown by Moody. There was a 3rd and 11 conversion by Maslak. That was for the other side. There was a big play that seemed like, man, are they going to take this lead back? But then there was that turnover on downs pass deflection from Hubler. We've actually just got final stats here from the amazing AD Kara Kimberlin. So we will go ahead and go to a break, and when we're back, we will run you through some stats for this game and then what is next up here on Varsity Sports Live, Eudora Sports Live.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, preparing for a career in healthcare as part of Fort Scott Community College's nursing program. Or maybe you belong on stage as part of the Hounds band or theater department. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
At Fort Scott.
All right, well, apologies. I have to retract my promise because I only received the Tonganoxie stats. Kara is still a fantastic AD, but I only received the Tongi stats. I can tell you how many yards Riedel and Maslak had if you're curious.
And a lot of Maslaks came in the first half alone, keep in mind.
Maslak had 55 yards on the ground. Riedel had 124 to go with his 2 scores. And yeah, they were perfect through the air. 6 of 6 for 103 yards for Maslak and 1 of 1 for 8 from their backup quarterback, number 3, whose name I had written down here somewhere, Doan. Had the 1 completion right before half that set up the field goal. But yeah, they did not opt to go back to the air. But it was a fantastic game here for the Cards and really, really effective. They moved the ball around a lot. Otis with a couple catches. We saw the great touchdown reception by White. They moved the ball around in the air well, and they ran it well. Just a really nice game. Let's see. Let's see if we can at least call out the touchdown scorers here. It was Preston White with the receiving score. They had 3 touchdowns in this one. Moody got into the end zone. And where was the other?
It would have been Cy Thomas early on.
Oh, that's
on
right.
Run.
Cy Thomas.
First touchdown of the
breaking
game.
Into the end zone, yep.
Or the Cardinals' first touchdown of the game.
That is correct. So, yeah, it was a great game for the Cards. And next up on Eudora Sports Live will be the next football game, the final of the regular season. The Cards will be taking on Paola. I won't be there for that one, but Hayden will be there to bring you through the end of the regular season. That will be a great one and one that the Cards... So Spring Hill sit at 4-1 in the Frontier League. The Cards are now 5-0, and the Cards also beat Spring Hill. I'm not sure where that tiebreaker is, but if the Cards win, it doesn't matter. If they win that game, they are undefeated Frontier League champions if they can pull that one off. They've got to beat Paola next week, but Spring Hill also play Lewisburg within the Frontier League. So there could be some shifting around on the last day. Hopefully not, of course, as the Cardinals sit atop and would like to stay that way and continue this win streak on into the postseason. But yeah, that'll be it for Friday.
Yeah, it was a really fun game last year against Paola too. That was the score may not show that was a tight competitive game, but that was a very tight and very competitive game. I'm so impressed with this Cards team from all the, mainly in big moments. I mentioned to you that, you're down in a 1st and 25 hole and you get a 40-yard run right away. We saw a couple weeks ago Grayson Moody pop off a 30-yard run or so on a 1st and 20 for the Cards. Third downs, they tend to be amazing. 3rd and 8 was when Cy Thomas had that big completion. The huge catch and touchdown to Preston White was on 3rd and 12, if I recall correctly. The phone keeps ringing for big moments, and these Cards keep picking it up over and over and over, and it makes me so excited for this next week game, which I'll be excited to bring to you, and the rest of this postseason. This is a really fun team, and we've had an absolute honor getting to call all these games, Reed.
Yeah, well, the win streak has rolled on for this week at least, and we will see if it continues next week against Paola. Thank you so much for tuning in for this great game of football. A privilege to bring it to you for Hayden Harves and myself, Reed McAvoy. Go Cardinals, and good night.
From the gridiron to the hardcourt, the pitch to the mat, don't miss any of the action. We're there with live, local sports coverage at VarsitySportsLive.com.